Hello and welcome to the second edition of School Report, Auckland First 15 TV for 2016, your one-stop shop for all the tries and action from the prestigious Auckland 1A Championship. And we're at Sacred Heart today as the home team take on St Kentigern College, the defending champion. It's a great rivalry between these two schools separated by the Tamaki Estuary. So we've got highlights of this match and 5 others coming up on School Report. Round 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship sees 6 tough clashes, including local derbies between King's College and Otahuhu College, and Sacred Heart and St Kentigern. Auckland Grammar head west to Kelston. First on Auckland First 15 School Report, a battle between 2 unbeaten heavyweights, Mags and St Peters. Week 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship pitted first round leaders Mount Albert Grammar against another round 1 winner St Peters College. Mags narrowly missed out on a semi-final place last year and are determined to make the playoffs this season, as are St Peters, who finished mid-table in 2015. Having racked up plenty of tries in their opening win against Otahuhu College, Mount Albert took just 6 minutes to cross the line as their forwards rumbled towards the chalk. Tight head prop Michael Palmer scooped up the ball and burrowed over to open the scoring. It took St Peters 22 minutes to respond as first 5 Harry Plummer slotted a long-range penalty to have the visitors trailing by 4 points with 7 minutes left in the half. With time almost up, second 5 Paul Roach again took the ball to the line and jinked through the defence to score, making up for a similar effort it had ruled out earlier, sending Mount Albert Grammar to the break, leading 14 points to 3. The second half saw St Peters camped on Mount Albert's line for extended periods, but having defended stoutly, the home side was soon launching an attack. Highly rated centre Caleb Clark showing shades of Father Eroni as he sliced through the midfield to score a great converted try. With 5 minutes left, Mags went hunting for a bonus point try, and when the ball bounced into the arms of Isaiah Papali'i, the flanker chipped for the corner and replacement winger Pat Pati swooped through to score. Mount Albert Grammar beating St Peters College 28-3, taking a maximum 10 points from their opening 2 games.
It was us not giving up. We really showed attitude throughout the whole 70 minutes, and big ups to St Peters, they never gave up as well, so it was a good game, a good fight, so yeah.
I came across a very well-drilled, dangerous Mags team, and probably didn't get enough quality ball to really exert enough pressure, so Mags scored a couple of late tries there and thoroughly deserved their win in the end.
Yeah, we're really wrapped with obviously the performance today. Being against St Peters, we knew it was going to be a physical encounter and a top 6 game, and the boys didn't disappoint, and we achieved obviously the win, but to get that bonus point win, especially 2 bonus point wins, is a really good start for us, and we're building some nice momentum.
So Mount Albert showing they'll be a force in 2016 as they go 2 from 2. Another school hoping to go back-to-back this week, Auckland Grammar, and they went west to play Kelston. Round 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship saw Kelston Boys High School host last year's runners-up Auckland Grammar. The visitors eyeing consecutive bonus point victories, while Kelston were looking for their first win of the season after a tough loss at King's College last week. Kelston had the early running, and with 10 minutes gone, the elusive first 5 Max Toia-Aloa slipped through the Grammar defence. He found winger Dan Silivaleo on his outside, and as Tuna Tautalafua doubled around, Kelston were in for an impressive converted try. Auckland Grammar had chances to convert points into pressure, but were largely on the back foot in the first half. A few minutes before the break, a clearing kick was snapped up by Goldberg Palotokopa, who immediately launched an attack. The ball made its way to Elijah Sufia, and the second 5 sauntered through the defence and dotted down in the left-hand corner to have Kelston leading 14 points to 0. 2 minutes before the break, Auckland Grammar were deep in the Kelston red zone. The ball was spun right, where Kanan Satani Tua made a beeline for the try line. The giant number 8 putting Auckland Grammar within 7 points of Kelston at half-time. Just 2 minutes into the second stanza and Kelston were back on attack. But when a chip was charged into the arms of Rodney Tongatia, the big centre ran in unopposed to lock the scores up 14 points apiece. With the momentum shifting, Kelston tried to run the ball from under their own sticks. The loose ball was gobbled up and shifted to Tongatia, who almost bagged another gift-wrapped try. Blindside flanker Sione Havili muscling over to give Auckland Grammar the lead. Soon after, Kelston again looked to run the ball from their own half, but Grammar replacement back Melino Fionanafo did a great job of snaffling the turnover and powering upfield. Plenty of Auckland Grammar forwards were waiting in the back line, but it was Kanan Satani Tua who crossed, adding to his already mounting try tally in 2016. The bonus point try giving Auckland Grammar a hard-fought 28-14 victory over Kelston.
I think the boys really got the message from the coaches and the management and really turned up on the second half. We're very pleased. The boys did a lot of work before the season and we're very pleased that it all paid off.
We started off well. We're rolling in the first half, had the lead. But, I don't know what happened in the second half, just turned the ball over. But if we can build on that first half going into next week, then we should be good.
Oh yeah, no, we're delighted. I mean, come to Kelston and win is always a great victory. And then, to get the 4-try bonus point out here at Kelston, we're delighted.
Another strong win from Auckland Grammar as they continue their quest to go one better than 2015. Well, stay with us on Auckland First 15 School Report. 4 more matches to come, including our feature match from here at Sacred Heart as they take on the defending champion, St Kentigern College.
I'm proud to captain the first team at Sacred Heart College because coming in as a student in Year 7, it was always someone you looked up to, always a rugby role model that you strive to be as a young player, and I think it's pretty cool to be able to be that boy for some of the younger fellas. The games the boys get up for the most is usually St Kitts, St Peter's and Auckland Grammar. Just because they're big names, the boys always love to get one over those opposition, and the boys always seem to go into 6th gear whenever we play them. The best piece of advice that we've got this year as a small full pack is it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. It's pretty cool because we've got a small mobile full pack. We want to be mongrel and we want to push people off the ball. Although we're not the biggest team, if we have that big heart, we'll be able to do things on the paddock. Rugby playing old boy that we've been looking up to in recent moments is Curtis Haiu. Recently passing, the boys have put a huge emphasis around his game and the things he was able to do on the paddock. He's a huge motivation for our boys and a person we look up to when we need some strength on the field. The 1A Championship is a huge part of Sacred Heart College. Obviously haven't won it in multiple years and that's always a mindset we take into each year. The school thrives on rugby, huge rugby school in Auckland, and a 1A Championship would be huge to our school.
Week 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship saw near neighbours and fierce rivals Sacred Heart and St Kentigern clash at Sacred Heart College. Both sides had triumphed in round 1, with the two schools having previously met in last year's semi-final, where St Kentigern College narrowly won on their way to claiming the 1A title. The match promised to be an arm wrestle, and all the early scoring came through the boots of halfbacks Ben Engels for Sacred Heart and Carlos Price for St Kentigern. The visitors with their noses in front 6 points to 3 after a tense 20 minutes. As the game threatened to break open, Osefo Masoi launched a counter-attack from a St Kitts clearance. The flanker making big strides up the right-hand side before setting clean ball for his teammates. There were plenty of forwards in the back line, but none more fitting than Hoskins Sututu. The number 8 crossing in the corner for a try Father Waisaki would be proud of. Carlos Price got St Kentigern to within 1 point soon after with another sweetly struck penalty. But Engels struck back heading into half-time with the score 13-9. Sacred Heart narrowly ahead of St Kitts in this 1A grudge match. The visitors have had the most lethal backline in the competition for a number of years, and they unleashed their pacey outsides early in the second half only for the final pass to fall short. With little to separate the two teams, Sacred Heart again took points whenever they were on offer. The home side now leading by 7 points. But with 10 minutes left on the clock, St Kentigern were in the Sacred Heart danger zone. Clean line-out ball by Cole Watson allowed the visitors to go sniffing for a try. Replacement lock Onehunga showing powerful leg drive to surge over for the all-important score. And the ever-reliable Price kicked the extras to have the game deadlocked at 16 apiece. With just 2 minutes left on the clock, Sacred Heart were rewarded a penalty in the opposition 22 and stand-in kicker Engels coolly added the 3 points. St Kitts trailed by 3 points with time up as the 1A champs desperately went in search of a winning try. The ball was slung right and it was Sacred Heart prop Fatongi Apaya that got a fingertip in the way. In a game of inches, that was enough to ensure Sacred Heart College claimed their first win over St Kentigern College in 4 years.
Oh, ecstatic. The boys had a goal. We felt like we came out here, kept it in the forwards and just had a huge game, and the boys got over St Kitts and ecstatic. Words can't explain.
We did a little bit of homework, as we all do, and I think physicality-wise was one thing we wanted to really hammer. Line-outs, we had a few options that we wanted to try, and we thought there was a few opportunities through the middle, being a bit more direct.
Oh, without the old boys, the supporters, all the support space around Sacred Heart College, just wouldn't happen. You can just see how much it means to get a win over St Kitts or any big team in the 1A. It means more than just a team. There's more players in the 22. We're just stoked. I'm so happy.
Well done to Sacred Heart, a victory that will send a few shockwaves through the 1A Championship. Now to a big winner from Week 1, King's College, who jumped the fence to take on Otahuhu in the Battle of Middlemore. There are no two schools in Auckland Rugby closer to each other than Otahuhu College and King's College. And in round 2 of the 1A Championship, Kings made the shortest of trips to Otahuhu. The visitors looking to back up from a great opening win against Kelston, and Otahuhu seeking their first points of the season. It took 6 minutes for King's College to get on the board. A stolen line-out by Wiropuna Witika had the visitors in possession, and his fellow loose forward AJ Mua picked up where he left off last week, burrowing over for the converted try. 10 minutes later, a quick tap had Mua on the rampage again, the block-busting number 8 diving under a couple of forwards to put Kings ahead 14 points to 0. From the resulting kick-off, the ball was gobbled up by Junior Rutava, the Fijian lock showing speed and ball skills better suited to a winger. A beautifully timed pass to his usual locking partner Johannes Lei Tuala, who raced under the sticks for a popular try. 5 minutes later, King's hooker Grayson Hardy made good metres towards the try line. Quick recycled ball allowed James Stanners to duck under the defence for a classic halfback's try. Kings picking up the 4-try bonus point before half-time. King's College continued to press in the second half, and classy first 5 Sharan Matoi took on the line and dotted down for the visitors' 5th converted try. Despite the scoreline, Otahuhu had dominance at scrum time and looked comfortable with the ball when they did have possession. And the tenacious scrambling defence had the home side looking the better through the first 15 minutes of the second half. But King's College pressure eventually told. Fullback Jamie Spoarts getting himself involved in the attack as he chipped and chased, looking for an identical try to his opening 5-pointer last week. But it was Liam Baker-Smith who added to his impressive 1A collection. A 13-minute period where Otahuhu frustrated the visitors was broken when Balin Sullivan sighed through the defence. The long striding centre making plenty of inroads into the opposition half. The ball was spun left, where fellow midfielder Edward Vaea Mulitalo ducked and weaved his way to the try line as he collected King's 7th try of the afternoon. Spowart added the extras for a perfect record off the tee. King's College beating neighbours Otahuhu 49-0.
5 points heading into round 3 is certainly what we wanted. Expected a lot of physicality from Otahuhu, and to come away with 5 points is just what we need for heading into a big test match next week.
Yeah, no, I thought I'm happy with the boys. You know, the way today went well. You know, we're improving. You know, that's the important that we have is improving week in, week out, and we did that today.
Playing against Otahuhu is always a tricky one, just across the road, rival school, and we knew they were going to be physical at that breakdown area, and they were. We sort of just wanted to use the ball in a bit more space, and we sort of caught them out on the edges. We targeted these first 2 rounds to get maximum points, and we've done that, but we know that, under no illusions, next week that's our real first schoolboy test match of the year.
A clinical victory there to King's College, and well done to Otahuhu as well for never backing down. Well, we've got 2 more matches to come for you on this week's edition of School Report. 4 teams hoping for their first win of the season. Dilworth taking on Salle, and Onehunga travelling to Aorere. That's next on Auckland First 15 TV School Report. Round 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship saw Aorere College host their second straight home game. After putting up a great fight against Kentigern last week, they welcomed Onehunga High School, both sides looking for their first win of 2016. Aorere had the run of play for the majority of the first 35 minutes and very nearly opened the scoring when JP Natoko raced into the corner only for the try to be ruled out. The right winger eventually getting on the scoreboard with a penalty that saw Aorere hold a narrow lead over Onehunga at the break. 3 minutes into the second half, and Aorere finally converted pressure into points when their big scrum allowed number 8 Tussie James to barge over for Aorere's first try of the season. A strength of Aorere's campaign last year was their line-out drive, and once again the well-drilled green and red machine rumbled over the line with hooker Penasoni Fianonofo the benefactor, the home side leading 15-0. Having worn Onehunga down through the forwards, Aorere began to give the ball air, and JP Natoko was in the corner again, only to be denied by the ref for a second time. Mosesi Pepper was a hero on defence last week, and this week the fullback electrified on attack, turning a quick throw-in into a brilliant individual try. Aorere topping Onehunga 22-0 for their first victory of the season.
Oh yeah, really happy with the performance my boys did out there today. Obviously coming to this game, we knew we were facing a side that just came up from the B grade, so we wanted a very dominant performance, and yeah, just really like to commend Onehunga for they gave us that tough first half.
Yeah, really happy. Boys have worked hard, they're preparing well each week, and you know, this year it's about not just hanging in there, it's about trying to show we deserve to be in the 1A. And yes, so we're happy that we've performed 2 weeks on the trot now.
So Aorere on the board early in the 1A Championship. Well done to them. Now to a battle between 2 other schools looking for their first win of the season. Dilworth School against Salle College. Dilworth School hosted Salle College during the second week of the Auckland 1A Championship. Salle travelled to Epsom looking for revenge following last year's upset by Dilworth. Home side aiming for another famous victory over the 2-time champions. And Dilworth were quickly ahead when first 5 Molly Fiver slotted a penalty after just 3 minutes. Salle performed strongly in week 1 despite their loss to St Peter's, and forwards and backs again linked well. Following a break off the scrum by PJ Hutch, the ball headed blind where the creative first 5 Obey Samate grub it in behind the Dilworth defence, and with centre Lalomilo leading the charge, it was ultimately winger Simon Peter Toliafoa who came up with the try. Back-to-back penalties by Samate had Salle leading 13 points to 3 midway through the first half. A turnover by Salle in their own half saw the visitors hot on attack through Brian Lupua, who put boot to ball. A wicked bounce again, playing tricks on the Dilworth backs. Leipua following up his own kick and sprinting in under the sticks. A quick fire 20 points in just 15 minutes had the visitors ahead at half-time. Dilworth battled bravely in the second half and didn't let De La Salle score. The home side very nearly crossing on a number of occasions, but the half-time scoreline remained at full-time. De La Salle getting revenge for last year's loss, speeding Dilworth School 20-3.
Yeah, it's really we're really pleased. We assessed our game last week, and I feel that we really improved on our game plan and utilising our backs. We got really fast backs, and I feel that if we spread out to them, they can do their magic.
Yeah, we just got to regroup again. I thought we played well in the first game. We didn't play so well today, and you can't play well every week, so it's just a matter of regrouping and starting afresh again pretty much for next week, and park that one, and we'll look at what we did wrong and what we need to improve on, and hopefully we can come out a bit stronger next week.
Yeah, well, pretty pleased. It was a difficult week digesting the loss last week to St. Peter's. We didn't play as well as we wanted to. We didn't implement our game system, so this week is all about coming out and making amends for last week and getting the win at least.
So De La Salle underway in their tilt for a semi-final spot. Let's check out who's in the top 4 after week 2. Once again, 3 schools have maximum points after round 2 of the Auckland 1A Championship: Mount Albert, King's College and Auckland Grammar, with Mags on top by the slimmest of points differential. Sacred Heart round out the top 4, St Kitts slipped to 5th, and De La Salle, Aorere and St Peter's also with 1 win each in 2016. An interesting looking points table already after just 2 weeks, and the important matchups just keep on coming as we head into round 3 of the Auckland 1A Championship. Looking ahead to week 3 of the Auckland 1A Championship, where St Kentigern is at home looking to get back to winning ways against Otahuhu. Aorere host table-topping Mount Albert. Auckland Grammar welcome Dilworth. Kelston look for their first win of the season against De La Salle. Onehunga host Sacred Heart. And our feature match on next week's school report sees high-flying King's College put their unbeaten record on the line against St Peter's College. Yes, join us next week here on School Report as we come to you from the cage. St Peter's taking on the high-flying King's College. Just before we leave you, make sure you check out our Facebook page, Auckland First 15. We have our top 3 tries from round 2 and you can vote for your favourite. So catch us next week as we bring you all the try-scoring action from round 3 here on School Report.